Let's talk about 3 Facebook ad changes that are causing coaches to attract broke clients, even though they think they're doing everything right and following all the right steps. What I want to do first off is help you understand that Facebook's always changing, but there's been some strategic changes that we've seen that have caused problems for a lot of coaches. I spent about 2.8 million over the last 3 years on ads, and these are some of the changes that I've seen. And after coaching well over 1,000 people over the years, here's what's going on. First of all, the first thing that we're seeing Facebook do more of than ever before is only showing your ad to a small percentage of your audience. Now, here's why that's a good thing and a bad thing if you don't know what's happening. So let's hypothetically say you're a coach, which obviously if you're watching this video, that's what you are. And you're running your Facebook ad to an audience of, say, 1 million people, all right? 1 million people. Well, Facebook's not going to run your ad to those 1 million people. They just won't. For a couple of reasons. First of all, your budget. If you're on a $10, $20, $50, $100 a day budget, you don't have enough budget to plow through all those people. Like, it just isn't going to work, right? So the second thing is what they want to do is they want to make sure that ad is going to the right people. So they're going to target the roughly 0.5% to 1%, maybe 1.5% of the qualified people in your audience, okay? So you're going to launch it, and then within a couple of days, it's going to zero in on only a small percentage of people. All right, and then they're going to show that ad to those people again and again and again, which you can tell by your frequency rate. If your frequency rate starts going higher, you know that that's what they're doing. Why is this a problem? The problem is because if they don't get it right, guess what? Your ad is going to be shown to a bad segment of your audience. That makes sense? You don't want that. So what do? Well, first of all, you have to know that this is going to happen every time, all right? They're doing their best, and they're going to just wedge it in there to a chunk of your audience, all right? There's nothing you can do about it. But also the thing is what we've seen is you want to give them room to move. So you really want to give Facebook about 500,000 to 1 million people so that they have room to maneuver and stuff like that, okay? If you squeeze the audience too small, it seems like the artificial intelligence doesn't really have a lot of room. And so it has to be a big audience, about 1 million people. All right. Now, what you do is you're going to then run it and see what kind of results you get. If after 4, 5, 6 days, you're not seeing any decent results that you thought you should do, what we recommend doing is just pausing the campaign, duplicating it, and then relaunching it. And what that does is it resets where that audience is going to go. So then it's going to go into a different 1%, okay, or 0.5%, whatever it is. It's small. It's going to go into a different chunk of that audience, okay? So that way, that's how it's going to work there, okay? So it's super important that you know this, that you're aware of it, and that you know how to fix it, because it's not going to change, all right? The second thing that a lot of people are struggling with is the audience advantage plus targeting. So what Facebook's doing is they're trying to override your targeting, okay? Because they're basically saying, hey, in terms of your audience age and stuff like that, they're like, we know best. We know where your people are, so let us run ads the way we want to the people you want. So if normally you're targeting 35 to plus, if you allow the Advantage Plus on, what it will do is it will ignore that and run the ads to everybody. And then they will decide who gets to see the ads, who are the qualified people in their opinion, and they will run it. So there can be advantages to it. So the advantage is if you don't know your audience well and you're just kind of starting out, well, then it allows Facebook to go out there and try and find your qualified people. But if you really know your audience, you're like, hey, my people, they're female 50 to 65. That's who I work with. That's just the nature of my coaching program. That's all who I can help. Well, then you got to override this thing because it's going to run your ads to people in their 30s, 20s, 40s, all that kind of stuff. And if it's not the right people, well, then, you're kind of out of luck, right? So you want to make sure that you're focusing on fixing that. So these are the first two things. Remember, just to recap, right? They're going to wedge your ad to the less 0.5% to 1.5% of people. It's the way it is. Now, why do they do this? And number two, the Advantage Plus. Why do they do these two things? Well, the biggest reason they do these two things is because they want to give your ideal people who are seeing your ad the best user experience. Because you got to remember something about Facebook. What is one of their very important metrics? Their important metric that they track is basically how many times a day people are coming back to Facebook. They're active users. And if active users are coming back to Facebook less, that means they're having a bad user experience. So then they're going to go to TikTok or wherever else, right? And that's not good, because the less people on Facebook means the less money they make on ads, so on and so forth. So they want to make sure everything is relevant and good, and that the people who are seeing your ads are having a good experience, right? So that's why they're trying to do all this. It is to help you, but the problem is you're dealing with artificial intelligence, and it doesn't always get it right. So, which brings us to the third biggest ad change causing problems for coaches. Now, before I get to it, what I need you to do is two quick things. First of all, hit the like button so I know you like this video, so I can create more of them for you. Second thing I need you to hit subscribe somewhere around this YouTube video here, because what I'm doing is we basically spend, like I said, about 2.8 million over the last 3 years or so on ads. We spent a lot of money on ads getting coaching clients, and we take what we're learning on Facebook, and then what we do is we share it on these videos for free for you, okay? So that you can learn and get some good ideas. Well, the problem is you're not going to get any updates. You're not going to know about any of this if you don't hit the subscribe button, because we have a lot of videos coming down the pipeline in production. I don't want you to miss out on any of them, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Now, number three, using engagement ads, all right? You don't want to do that, and they're easy to set up, super quick, set an engagement ad up. And the reason why is the ad structure isn't good and the conversion objective isn't right. This is very important, okay? Because when you run an ad, you don't want Facebook to show it to people who look like the people who are clicking. And this is a problem. So what Facebook does is gives you some options. You can, because remember, they're going to pick where your ad goes in their audience, right? So if you pick the traffic option, they're going to run your ad to people who basically look like the people who are clicking your ad. Is that good? No. You want people who look like the people who are giving you an email address, who are converting. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your ad campaign objective is conversions. And when you're using engagement ads, you can't do that. It's terrible. It doesn't work good. It doesn't look good. So you want to make sure you're using a normal ad and the conversion objective is leads. So that way Facebook goes out, finds people who look like who are registering, and more people and more people and more people, and it's a lot more targeted, okay? Versus finding people who look like the people who are clicking. You don't want that. All right, so here's one thing I have for you. What I want you to do is I want you to click the link in the description or the pinned comment, the link there to an upcoming webinar on the 300-word Facebook ad strategy and snowball system I use to attract qualified coaching clients. And again, I've spent a lot of money on ads, and we share with you what's working, what's not working, what you need to know. So click that link there, get registered for the webinar so you can understand the secrets of what's working now, why Facebook is actually easier than it's ever been, and the little lies that a lot of these gurus out there are telling you that don't actually work anymore. So click the link in the pinned description or the description or pinned post. We'll see you on that webinar.